Hey everyone, I'm Trading Man Dan, trader and technical analyst for the last 13 years. And in this video, we're going to look at the markets, check in on the major sectors. We had some initial signs for the potential of weekly consolidation to end last week. But this week, starting it off with a bang, the bulls saying, nope, new 52-week highs, heading into CPI tomorrow and FOMC on Wednesday. Let's see how the markets are positioned. But we want to zoom into our major sectors, see what is strengthening, what is weakening. But overall, we know that the bulls are extremely strong as long as the daily uptrends remain intact. EMA 12 support is our guide as well. S&P 500 and the NASDAQ both hitting new 52-week highs today. And aside from some initial morning bear control, it was all bulls. So SPY's simple statement, if 425.82 is support, the bulls have complete control. So even if we get a bearish reaction to CPI tomorrow, the bulls are comfortable with space to work with. We can pull back 2% before we get to support, and the NASDAQ has even more space than that. NASDAQ, anything above 348.18 is a higher low. It looked like we were getting ready for some weekly consolidation to end last week. So the last 3 trading days or so, I've been cautious. I've been watching for the bears to prove something to us, and they just haven't. And it all goes back to the hourly trend. The hourly trend has been a really good guide. Big bear day on Thursday, never confirmed the hourly downtrend. Bulls back to fresh highs. If you cannot confirm an hourly downtrend, you're not going anywhere. QQQ has not confirmed an hourly downtrend in over a week. Since back in the early May 20s, we had an hourly downtrend, and since then there has not been a clear hourly, I take that back right here. But since then, so about over a week, have not seen a clear hourly lower high and lower low. And even today, the bears controlled the morning. How do we not get faked out here? We had a bear break, a 5-minute downtrend, because once we confirm the 5-minute downtrend, we zoom out and say, okay, bears have 5-minute control, but anything over 354.05 from the end of Friday is an hourly high or low. And so we held it and then just kept going up. Never came close to losing the hourly uptrend. So ensure that you're watching that hourly trend as your guide, because it's been a good one. Next levels from here. Honestly, I don't really care about previous levels at this point. I'm just watching the short-term hourly uptrends. And when the bears confirm the first hourly downtrend, I'll say, hey, that's different. We haven't seen that in like 9 trading days. And that will stand out to me. Just like the next time we see all major sectors hitting the low of the day at the same time. That will stand out. We'll say, hey, this is different. But if that is not happening, then nothing is changing. And if nothing is changing, then we're heading higher. And today it was an example of QQQ, look at the inverse relationship. It's just a masterful rotation game that's been going on. Bears of QQQ were in control for the first 45 minutes of trading with a little bit of a drop. Financial sector bulls were in control for the first 30 minutes of trading. Straight up, well, not straight up, but all bulls. Then XLF starts its consolidation. And while it's doing that, QQQ, bulls take over. They just take in turns. So, daily uptrend in SPY and QQQ. And again, there's no fake outs here. QQQ has had a clear daily uptrend for 6 weeks at this point, 5 weeks. SPY has had it for a month. It's not like we're breaking resistance and then breaking support and then, we get the bear signal and then the bulls show back up again. There has been no bear signal on the daily time frame. The only thing you can look at and say is we're overextended, but that's not good enough in this market environment. Which is why, again, we're not trying to nail the tops. We're waiting for the bears to prove something to us. And so I'm in a meta short, which is potentially going to stop out, but the bears proved something to me there. All right, big enough pullback to create the space for a daily lower high. But if QQQ keeps grinding higher, meta is going to keep grinding higher as well. So watching for a potential daily lower high in meta, but only if QQQ sees some red. Semiconductors, weekly bull flag. We've been watching this weekly bull flag ever since we confirmed the daily downtrend with 0 follow-through. Our simple statement was, if daily EMA 12 is support, it's a bull flag. And so here we are testing the high of 151.71 on the verge of confirming the weekly bull flag in the semiconductors. SMH next level after 151.71, we're looking up at the all-time high. And with that NVDA, we have intra-sector rotation going on. NVDA is holding on just fine as well, but it's not testing its high. It's currently 6-7% below that level. And so while it's trading sideways and bulls are catching their breath, waiting for daily EMA 12 support to catch up, you've got laggards seeing continuation. ADA, testing the high right now while NVDA is not close to doing so. TSM, higher high on the daily. So leader sees the huge move off earnings, trades sideways, laggards pull back with the leader, but then see continuation while the leader is still catching its breath. We're just seeing very bullish inter-sector rotation among our major sectors and intra-sector rotation among the individual sectors. AI names, I'm watching AI for a daily lower high, anything under 44.02, but the bears have not been able to set that daily lower high. Higher low each day over the last 6 days. Inside bar today. Again, there was relative weakness in AI all day today. Look at the drop for hours while QQQ was going up. But you can only stay weak for so long compared to the ETF that is our key tracker, we'll say, which for AI is QQQ. And so we're weaker, we're weaker. When did the bulls show up? 2:45 p.m. What happened at 2:45 p.m.? QQQ broke the high of Friday and was not looking back from that point. That's when a grind up, a slow grind up, turned into an accelerated move up. And AI responded to that with its own accelerated move up after being weaker for hours. So it's a daily inside bar. Bears have to prove to us, but even if we set that lower high, we're just going to watch for a higher low and a tightening range into next week. PLTR broke the high of Friday, but only by a few pennies. Significant relative weakness from there, but just grinding back. QQQ saw no weakness to help the PLTR bears. Daily uptrend remains intact. I'm watching for a lower high compared to 1716, but it is not going to be set without help from the QQQ bears. Tesla also still holding on strong. Longest streak of green days in a row in the history of the stock. And you look at this and say, but what about these red days? Those are not red days. Those are green days. All that is showing us is that we closed lower than we opened, but the close is still above the previous day. Daily inside bar. I attempted a Tesla short this morning for the hourly lower high, and I stopped out with a small loss, and then I recognized a 2-minute equilibrium later in the morning and got it back with a small win. This is a 2-minute equilibrium, buy the bull break, exit quickly. Target was low 248, knowing a 15-minute lower high was the most likely scenario. We then formed a 15-minute equilibrium, and it broke bull. The best pattern that you will find for late morning, early afternoon trades are 15-minute equilibriums. Write that down. The best patterns that you will find for late morning, I'm talking 11 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. I guess we'll just say 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. 15-minute tightening ranges breaking. You're tightening up all morning, and then the break dictates momentum into the end of the day. And so the bull break on Tesla, again, you got some trade opportunities within the equilibrium, but then at a certain point, you just got to wait because it's not worth it. We're too tight. The moves aren't worthwhile. The bull break happens at 248, and there's your 1% plus move for the second half of the day. When you have a very volatile morning, you very often form 15-minute equilibriums. CCJ did it today. No, it didn't. Who else did it? I forget. There were a couple names I was watching. NVDA did it as well. Meta did it as well. So just tightening up on the 15-minute, hold support, big bull break on NVDA, increasing volume into the end of the day. Again, relative weakness all day, but when QQQ turned on the jets, so did NVDA. And Meta had the tightening 15-minute range here. Low, high, higher low, lower high, higher low, tight, tight, tight. Bull break, no follow through. Still grinding EMA 12, and then the end of the day, getting some follow through. Healthcare, trying to confirm the daily uptrend. Need a break of 131.38. If we get it, weekly higher low convincingly set. Bring on the equilibrium to break sometime later this summer. Weakest major sector for April and May, trying to join Team Bull. We already know XLF has joined Team Bull over the last week plus. IWM has joined Team Bull. All of our weakest sectors are joining Team Bull and our strongest sectors are not weakening. It will change eventually, but we're not going to nail the top. We're going to watch for signs that it is shifting. Bears proving things to us. XLF is a daily bull flag attempt. Stair-step pattern, higher low every day, 7 days in a row. Finally a bear break, closing pretty much flat on the day, trying for the daily bull flag. If it confirms, we're going to be knocking on the door of 33.53 to try and confirm the weekly uptrend and the monthly higher low. IWM also trying for the daily bull flag. No red flags on consolidation. Bulls do need to confirm an hourly uptrend still. If they do so tomorrow, we're looking right back at the recent high of 187.77. The dollar, bear breaks with no follow through, so we've got a downtrending support line to be watching on the 4-hour. It's getting a little falling wedgie. I'm watching this downtrend resistance. It's not in play, but the bulls are trying to shape up a healthy, quick weekly higher low, and each bear break is lacking follow through. And so with that, the metals are staying weaker. Gold, sideways on the daily, unable to get a convincing bull break. Silver is a lead bull in a daily uptrend. Miners are weak, hitting the lowest level in a week and a half today. But have to see the dollar give some bear conviction. Have to see gold break the sideways range bullish. Otherwise, the metals and miners are not going to go very far. Oil bears following through. Daily downtrend confirmed last Thursday. Big follow through today. Lowest level in a month. 63.90 is the support level. Anything under 73.28 is just a daily lower high. So bears in control of oil, one of the few places where the bears are in control. There's certainly some individual names out there, but certainly not most sectors. And natural gas trying to shape up the daily uptrend must break 238 on the futures chart to set a daily uptrend and to set the weekly higher low. And then the question will be, can the bulls continue to weekly higher highs? But first things first, need to shape up the daily higher low for the daily uptrend attempt. So I'm still keeping an eye out for the potential of lower highs in AI names, but only if QQQ sees weakness. And again, how much further can we go up? We can go up all year. I'm not limiting myself to say, oh, we're too extended, because we know that these markets can get irrational in both directions, and we know there's a lot of bears that are hurting in this move, and there's a lot of money on the sidelines. And again, that's why I keep saying when we do see weekly consolidation, I mean, what's going to happen when Apple sees a weekly pullback, when QQQ sees a weekly pullback, when NVDA already is, bulls are buying the dip is the bottom line. There's so many names where weekly higher lows are the most likely scenario that even when we do say, finally, bears have some short-term momentum, we're just going to be looking for weekly higher lows. So at this point, bears need help. We're heading into the CPI and the FOMC, and it's essentially the bears have to see a reaction in their favor because they have nothing going in their favor in terms of price action. So it has to be a fundamental catalyst, at least in the short term. If we're talking this week, there has to be a fundamental catalyst for these markets to top out. Otherwise, we're going to keep heading higher and keep the pain on the bears, which has certainly been the case for the last couple of months. So not fighting the trends. If fighting the trends, again, it's like Meta for me. I fought the trend with Meta because we had a big enough hourly pullback where an hourly lower high was most likely. It then turned into a swing trade, and that allowed me to take some profit and be risk-free. But if we break to a higher high, I'm just going to stop out. And I did that with NVDA. I shorted NVDA. I had a good entry. Forget where it was, up here. So I shorted NVDA, had a good entry, got some follow-through. Forget exactly which one it was. It was either this one or this one. Took some profit, stop over the high risk-free, stopped out, and very glad that I did. So if you're going to try playing counter momentum, you have to have a level to be playing off of. Anybody that's just been scaling into this move because we're extended, because of the macro, it's been a very bad few months. No just scaling in. Have to be playing off a level. Be skeptical of bears, make them prove it, and do good things. These are wine berries that grow all along the edge of the property. They're edible. This one just popped up next to this tree, so I let it go. But these will become berries in another few weeks. Tastes kind of like a raspberry, but not as sour. Smaller little granule seeds.